everyone. I hope you're well and I hope you're fine. Now, sometimes in our past lives, there may be things which give us a key to unlock stuck states now. And today I want to share a couple of things, a couple of ways about how this can connect to the vast resources that are already there in our amazing subconscious, unconscious minds. So I'm going to have a look at past life regression, what it is, what it isn't, and the differences between that and what is called regress to success in our present lives. So Sigmund Freud introduced the concept of regression in the 1890s. So he utilized it in psychoanalysis, at first via hypnosis, and then in talk therapy. And through regression, his patients could confront childhood events and traumas that continue to create emotional stress in their adult lives. Now, if you've heard of a lucid dreamer, many lucid dreamers are able to exercise control over their dreams. Having control allows lucid dreamers to use their dreams as they desire, perhaps simply for having fun, like flying, or for psychological well-being, perhaps overcoming nightmares, even for controlling the content of a dream. This can be difficult if the dreamer is not prepared with a goal and strategy for realizing that. So whilst the ability to include a mobile phone in a 16th century landscape is a method of having a variety of lucid dream, which may enable individuals to experience lucid dreams for personal purposes, this is not indicative of true past life recall. So, is it possible to learn lessons of the past to enhance our lives now? Now, I want first to have a look at karma. What is meant by karma? Karma is generally understood to be the universal law of cause and effect. Just think of the saying, reap what you'll sow. What goes around comes around. The definition of karma tells us you also bring forward into this life your past karma, which determines the kind of physical form you will have as well as your personality traits. However, belief in karma doesn't necessarily indicate karmic cause. It may just indicate a karmic link to an issue in this life, which may be learned through past life recall or as a lesson of the past. However, it is important to remember the past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Diana Goldner wrote, "Each individual is born with karma, the residual from past lives that must be resolved. But I believe karma is more present and future-based too." There are 12 laws of karma. These are the laws of cause and effect. This is also known as the Great Law, similar to the law of attraction. So if we seek love, be loving. If we seek wealth, be generous. Creation, this means that we need to be active participants in our lives. If we don't like what is happening, we must look at our surroundings, understand what is going on inside, and ask ourselves what needs to change. Humility, this suggests that we are not constantly to blame others for things that are not right in our lives. Consistent self-reflection will help us make the shifts we need to a more fulfilling life. Growth, the message here is that you need to expect a change in ourselves before we expect it in the world around us. To get different results, we have to do different things. Responsibility. We are individually responsible for our life experiences. You must take ownership of the bad things that we create as well as the good. Connection. We must remember our control over the present and future can obliterate the bad energy of the past. It takes time to address karmic wrongs through past life regression, for example. But each small step can have an unexpectedly powerful effect. Focus in life. We will do better if we follow a single train of thought. So if we have several goals, follow them in a logical linear pattern. Hospitality. When we demonstrate commitment, we demonstrate our actions, and this in turn reflects in our beliefs. The here and now. Truly live in the present moment, fully engage and enjoy it. Change. If we are stuck in a loop, there is something fundamental that has to be addressed. We know we need to create a different future. Patience and reward, our greatest successes, will require consistent hard work. We must work out our true purpose. We must enjoy the reward of doing what we are supposed to be doing with our current life. And in time, emotional and financial successes will follow. How true. And lastly, significance and inspiration. The last law of karma is the strongest. It stresses that every contribution we make will influence the whole. When we make creative, loving contributions to the world, our act inspires similarly positive behavior from others and therefore attracts more positivity back into our lives. We may not always feel significant, but we are. Without our presence, the energy of the universe will be fundamentally altered. In a nutshell, that's karma. Okay, I would be interested to hear your thoughts on those laws of karma. Please leave me some comments below. Now, another question I get asked a lot about past life regression is dreaming that one is of a different sex indication of past life recall? And the answer is yes. A change of sex is perfectly plausible. However, many people may experience lucid dreams and not realize it's actually past life recall. Profound psychological changes may also manifest. Differences in seeing, hearing, touching may be experienced in a different way. Taste and smell are the two most prominent senses that have been recorded in lucid dreams. It is to be remembered that these are subconscious perceptions rather than realities. Emotions involved in a past life are also extremely important. Emotions are said to be the barometer of the soul. And it is believed by some that habits cultivated in past lives create our physical, mental makeup in this life. It's even said our sex is determined by our self-chosen tendencies in previous lives. Again, be interested to hear your comments. Also, I'm asked what is meant by the subtle body. Now, this is that part of us that is in touch with true reality. We can look into and communicate with our subtle bodies through hypnosis. I believe that our intellect and senses create the illusion of our being, and our subtle or energetic body creates our true reality. In life, it would appear that all is not as it first seems. This is not a new concept. Aristotle says, the energy of the mind is the essence of life. In the Western world, we are familiar with our physical bodies, but often less with our subtle energy systems. We're all made up of energies, each of which has their own specific purpose. Our physical body consists of energy that vibrates very slowly, which is why it appears to our physical eyes to be solid. But then there are the energetic layers that are outside of our normal perception, our energy points. These are this is known as the auric field. It creates an interconnected field of energy, which are connected, also known as chakras. The active energy gateways, when they are functioning properly, they give us the vital life force from our subtle body. It is believed that the physical body is dependent upon this vital energy flow to obtain optimum well-being. And chakras can become blocked by negative states, such as rigid thought patterns or bad habits or negative emotions. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, realized that the subconscious was not a repository for rejected emotions. He believed it was a way to offer ourselves inner healing and wellness. Our subconscious contains whatever we need to solve our psychological problems, and it gives us access to these positive energies. The human condition is not a continual conflict of superego versus id, but a striving towards wholeness of the self. And instead of masking hidden desires, Jung believed that unmasking dreams unmasked hidden desires of the subconscious. Famously, Jung also proposed that there is a collective unconscious. This is part of the mind that contains information that is common to all humans. Its existence accounts for the fact that widely different cultures can have dreams in which specific symbols occur and have the same meaning. For example, many myths, fairy stories, rituals from around the world are almost identical, yet have originated separately. Jung believed that these are expressions of archaic symbols that emerge spontaneously from the collective unconscious, and he called these symbols archetypes. Wikipedia described these Jungian archetypes as that kind of innate, unspecific knowledge derived from the sum of total human history, which prefigures and directs conscious behavior. To my mind, there are in fact an infinite number of archetypes. I find that this model of the perception of our life energy to be fascinating. And if, my dear YouTuber, you are still here, may I suggest you do too? So, just briefly, I want to touch upon this life regression, where we can regress to success. There is a state of our mind where part of us wants this and part of us wants that. And in hypnosis, we can unify those parts to work together. Through hypnosis, you can begin to wonder how much you are learning already, because you can relax and yet focus your mind inside and begin to access hypnosis in a way that you haven't experienced before. And as you allow your wonderful subconscious, unconscious mind to take you on a journey inside, sooner or later, you get to appreciate, enjoy that journey from your past to your now. In this life, regress to success, if I can use a metaphor here, is like bypassing that magnifying glass to examine where the problem sits, and instead switch that magnifying glass for a catapult which we can pull back so you can release that whole story, that whole issue, and then use that momentum to bring you into the outcome you seek. It's simple. Sound good? Do you ever have those days where by accident you feel so good, you are so full of energy, you are so focused, and you think to yourself, what has brought this about? Did I sleep well? Did I have a good breakfast? Is it the weather? What if instead you could activate the ability to access that productivity, embrace that inner confidence again, whatever your issue is? Would that be helpful to you? So, whether it's past life regression or harnessing the positivity of this life recall from 10 or 20 years ago, as in Regress to Success, the artistry of hypnosis will help you harness all the great things, all the great resources you already have to unlock the power of your amazing subconscious, unconscious mind to get the life you deserve. Sound good? Great. I hope that's given you an insight in what I believe and the differences between past life regression and present life regress to success. As I always say, your mind and body already know what to do. See you again.